Hello and happy Easter, day of rebirth and resurrection, and hope and renewal. So, a few years ago, I was feeling, I was going through a really creative, fertile stage in my life, and it's when I started writing the stories that many of you have probably heard me talk about or have seen. These trilogy of stories that I've written and performed. And the stories were channeled from Mother Earth. You know, I feel like they're stories for our time, and it's her speaking, and it's about restoring our connection to the earth. And right now, I feel like we are all, as a collective, more and more of us are waking up and more deeply to the truth that we must restore our connection and restore balance. And I realized lately, the past few years, I've kind of become less connected. Like I still go on walks in nature, but I didn't feel anymore that like magical, visceral connection that like nature as a being was like alive and talking to me and supporting me, and we were co-creating. But on Good Friday, I came across this book that Kristen, an amazing psychic healer friend of mine, forwarded to me because of the way I speak about Mother Earth. It's called the Paralandra Garden Workbook, and like Feinhorn, if some of you are familiar with Feinhorn, it's one woman's the way that she learned to grow a garden without any traditional gardening experience. No, actually, Feinhorn is like that. She actually did have a lot of traditional experience, but she learned how to work with nature in a way to grow a garden that changed the way she saw life. And so this workbook is like channeled from nature spirits and talks about how to be in this harmonious co-creation with nature. And one of the things she talks about is that, you know, there's different intelligences, different consciousness, and humans have a tendency to limit or see the world through only their type of intelligence. But each type of intelligence or consciousness has a driving force. And for humans, it is free will. And for nature, it is inherent balance. And so humans describe a garden like as, you know, a plot of land that they cultivate. But nature defines a garden as something that humans initiate and co-create with nature, which is an organizing principle that brings spirit into form. Humans provide the intention and the will. And so I think I'm going to grow a garden, which is something that I've wanted to do for years. My parents' garden, and I love flowers and plants, and I have this spiritual connection with plants and flowers, but I don't have like an embodied earthy connection. And part of the reason is because one is I move around a lot. I've moved and I haven't like settled in a place that has a yard where I feel like I could cultivate and invest that energy. But the other thing is, one time I did live in a place where a garden was available, and I didn't, one, because I didn't know enough, I felt intimidated by it. And also I wasn't prioritizing it. You know, I wasn't living in a consistent way, you know, to like till the soil and you know, water it and weed it like a couple times a day. And now I feel ready, like, because like all of us, I have more space and time than usual. And it's like, yeah, first of spring, my parents are planting a garden again, which they haven't done in years. And so I have their support if I actually want like physical material support, but I really love this idea of learning using the creation of an actual physical garden as a way to embody and connect with the spirit of nature again, like as a communion. And so I want to share the journey because I think a lot of you might feel the way I do, which is like you love nature and you love being outside and love the idea of deepening a relationship with her. But it feels intimidating or hard to start something that maybe you don't know anything about. And, in this way, maybe it's a blessing that I haven't had that much traditional experience in gardening, because apparently this way of gardening that this book guides you through is completely different from the way people have been taught. So we don't need to unlearn it. Okay, so talk to you soon. I hope you are feeling loved and renewed.